people are starting to turn on Jey Uso, and I want you to know, I hear you. And I want you to also know that I have thoughts on your opinion. If you do feel that Jey Uso is overrated.
It doesn't matter how you feel!
Because Jey Uso is exactly where he needs to be. Actually, I feel they haven't pushed him enough. But we'll get into that in a second. Jey Uso is over. He is over. What are we supposed to do? Waste a 3-year plus storyline? The Bloodline? The Bloodline has totally gotten Jey over. This was a career tag team guy who is now getting the most pop in all of WWE. When he comes out, they are electric. It is amazing. I haven't seen something like that since Daniel Bryan. And before Daniel Bryan, I'm not sure. I mean, granted, Stone Cold and The Rock get bigger pops, but that, yes, or the Yeet, nothing compares. Nothing compares to that, for real. And so we're gonna waste that? We're gonna waste that? No! What are we gonna waste it on? A call-up from NXT? Don't get me wrong, I'm actually really digging Ilya Dragunov, but if that is the reason that you are turning on Jey Uso, I call shenanigans. First off, is Jey Uso overrated? I don't know, maybe. His WrestleMania match sucked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not blind. His WrestleMania match sucked. Okay, so what? He is more in touch with the crowd than anyone. I would even argue Cody Rhodes. I would say this guy has the crowd behind him, right? And look at AEW. AEW just had the greatest match of all time, Will Ospreay versus Daniel Bryan, and who's still really talking about it? Maybe Dave Meltzer. That's about it. Their ratings keep going down and down and down. They're at like around 700,000. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, ratings is everything, but ratings is a lot. It's a lot. When was the last time AEW had a sold-out crowd? When Sting retired a couple months ago? It's a joke. They cannot fill like 3,000 seats. They cannot fill 3,000 seats. And you got Jey Uso making 18,000 people every week do that. Clearly, your in-ring work doesn't necessarily translate to being over in a professional wrestling, okay? Because Daniel Bryan was extremely, he had 80,000 people doing yes, and now he's in a promotion that can't fill 3,000 seats. Will Ospreay, he's a big deal in Japan. He's a big deal in the internet community. But is he selling tickets? No. Jey Uso is. Main event Jey Uso is. So there you go. Is he overrated? He's not as good as Daniel Bryan in the ring. I will grant you that. He had a horrible match at WrestleMania 40. I will grant you that. Is he overrated? Nope. He needs work, but he's not overrated. We're not about to shoot someone down the card because they're not fully there yet. No, the fans have spoken. The fans have spoken. I'm sorry if you really wanted to see Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther next week on Raw, but we can wait on that. In fact, we shouldn't even be getting that for free. PLE. That's a PLE match if I've ever seen one. Clash at the Castle, WrestleMania 41, maybe SummerSlam. Have that match there. Now, I agree that Ilya shouldn't have lost, but I also think Ilya should not have fought Jey. Because once you put those two together, Jey had to win. I am sick and tired of hearing main event Jey Uso and then he loses the match. He can lose the match to Roman Reigns, but he should not be losing really any matches. He's the main event star. I keep hearing that he's the face of Monday Night Raw while CM Punk is out, and we need to let him win these matches. So the moment you put those two together, Jey had to win. They should never have been put together. Really, they shouldn't have. What they should have done, I really feel, what they should have done was put Gunther interfere so he wouldn't have to face Ilya Dragunov, and then Ilya could have been protected. Because I am upset. Don't get me wrong. I am upset that Ilya lost. He's a new star on WWE. He's great. He's phenomenal. I really do think that he should not have lost clean. I don't think Jey should have cheated. They could have been like underhanded. Jey was distracted. Gunther just knocks out Ilya. And then next week, what we have is Jey Uso versus Gunther. Ilya Dragunov gets involved, and he either knocks out Jey for taking the win, or he knocks out Gunther for interfering, and then Jey Uso gets the pin. Jey gets to advance and become the king of the ring, and now we have Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther, a feud going into, we'll skip King of the Ring, but going into Clash of the Castle or SummerSlam. That would have been perfect. Believe it or not everybody knows of NXT UK. Not everybody watches NXT, myself included. I don't have time. I have a full-time job, let alone watching NXT UK. Now, I did see the Ilya Dragunov match, which was amazing, but that's because I heard so much chatter and went and sought it out. And it will be great. I do want to see it. And I do also recognize that we're not just going to throw Jey under the bus so I can see a match that's destined to happen. Ilya can wait. He shouldn't have been fighting Jey to begin with. But the fact that they did, Jey had to win. Jey just had to win. Is Ilya a better wrestler? Yeah, I'll say that. He's a better wrestler. But he hasn't connected with the crowd yet. Oh, well, he's only had a week. Okay, don't matter if he's only had a week. He hasn't connected with the crowd. That was the statement. Jey has. Jey needs to move on. Simple as that. And I really hope that if Jey loses to Gunther, because at this point, I do want Gunther to win. I hope something happens because Jey should not get a clean loss. Is Gunther a better wrestler? Yes, he is. Is Gunther even connected with the crowd? Yes, he is. If anyone's going to get a clean pin on Jey, Gunther is a good candidate. I just want Jey protected still. And is this it? Is this all Jey has? Even if it was, who cares? Even if it was, who cares? He's making money for the company. He can wrestle. He's still getting used to being a singles wrestler, but that's okay. Okay? Got room to improvement. You tell me, show me one person out there that has no room for improvement. Are you perfect? Seriously, are you perfect? Whatever you do in life, is there no room for improvement? Okay, give Jey a second or two. He's going to improve on the mic. You watch, I had a video come up the other day where he did an interview backstage. He's already improving. I broke it down. Go watch it. I'll put a link at the end of the video. Go watch it. He is already improving. He's coming up with things on the fly, just going forward. Give the dude a chance. He 100% deserves it. So is he just this? No, he's more than that. But even if he was just that, it's enough to give him the shot. All right? The crowd has spoken. And they said, give this guy a shot. We got to give him a shot. And the shot isn't a 1 month, 2 month, 3 month thing. It needs to be longer. And he just came out of a 4-year storyline, and he is over, right? And that's what that storyline was for. It was to put people over. The Bloodline storyline has put Sammy over, has put Drew McIntyre over. Without Drew McIntyre being screwed by the Bloodline how he was, he would not be who he is right now. This hypocritical, sarcastic beast of a man. And then it has also put Jey Uso over. And we've got to utilize that. Strike while the iron is hot. All right? We're not going to send him down to UK to improve his wrist locks. Okay, we don't need that. We don't need that. There's plenty of wrestlers who know how to do a perfect wrist lock, but there's not plenty of wrestlers who can connect with the crowd. Jey is perfect where he is, and he needs to keep going. He should be king of the ring or world champion. You know what? I just thought of this. No, let Drew McIntyre Claymore kick him and Gunther take the win. There you go. Protect Jey, but give Gunther the win, because, you know, Drew's all upset that Jey took his spot. Perfect, perfect. And then Jey can go back after the title. Let that happen. And then Drew can be mad, saying, oh, he just leaves the king of the ring, then he goes gets the title, and now he's like, ah, I'm so mad. And let Jey become champion. Sorry, Damian Priest. You know whose time it isn't? It's not Damian Priest's time. He hasn't connected with the crowd as much. Although I will say he did own Drew pretty good, and he impressed me. He did impress me, but maybe he can have like an Edge championship where it's a really quick championship that just got the crowd used to seeing the belt around his waist. He loses it right away, but then he wins it again, and that's when his real main event push starts. We can do that with Damian Priest, but right now, all guns should be pointed at Jey Uso because he just needs to keep going. This is it. Remember when WWE tried to stop the yes movement. We're not stopping the yeet movement. Okay, we learned from our mistakes. You know who I think is saying Jey is overrated? I think it's that small minority of the internet crowd. I think it's the 3,000 AEW fans who show up for their live events that are being the vocal minority here. And you could say, well, hashtag we want Cody, that changed things. There's a big difference. There's a big difference between hashtag we want Cody in that the live crowds were also booing The Rock, chanting, you know, BS and wanting Cody. Okay, it was the live crowds and the internet. So far, I'm only seeing the internet. I'm not seeing nobody, no big names, no nothing. I'm just seeing small little Twitter accounts that are the ones really perpetuating this Jey's overrated thing. All right? And guys, let me clue you in on something. After Stone Cold broke his neck, he wasn't that great of a wrestler. But you know what he was? He was still a great entertainer. I'm being for real here. I'm being for real here. After he broke his neck, and it's not his fault. It's definitely not his fault that he broke his neck. But the fact of the matter is, he wasn't a great wrestler after he broke his neck, but that's when he became the greatest professional wrestling entertainment superstar, whatever you want to call him, of all time. Arguably of all time, because Stone Cold's best careers were 100% after his moveset got limited. So even if Jey's moveset's limited, that's fine. That's totally okay. Because he doesn't need to have the greatest moveset of all time to have a connection with the crowd and become one of the greatest of all time. He's fine. He's not overrated. In fact, he needs to win more. And that is my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Please comment below because you can win that championship. You comment, you get a chance to win that championship. Not a toy, a replica. It's heavy, it's awesome. You can walk into a room holding the championship belt and say, acknowledge me. Just like I acknowledge Jey Uso, and I hope you acknowledge the subscribe button and the comment section below so you can win that belt. Guys, girls, have a great day.